welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I've been given a brew challenge from Patreon subscriber Beerguard, who wanted to see Food Chain and Doomsday in the same deck working together. Other than that, it's up to me. And basically, what we've got here is a bug mid-range deck with a bunch of normal Legacy cards. I mean, we've got the Brainstorm Ponder, Fatal Push Thoughtseize, Orcish Bowmaster, Force of Will, Uro, Endurance, even Baleful Strix isn't that weird, Brazen Borrower. This is just a bunch of Legacy staples. But then we have to make two different combos work within this shell. The way that these two cards synergize is that Doomsday puts Mist Hologriffin into exile automatically. If it just resolves, your Mist Hologriffins go into exile. It's basically like getting 3 extra cards in your Doomsday pile, except they go straight into your hand, and they're all Mist Hologriffins. That means if you put Food Chain on top of the Doomsday pile, when you cast Food Chain on the next turn, you should have infinite creature mana ready to go. That's the theory anyway. From infinite creature mana, the Doomsday pile idea, there's a couple things you can do. You could just put 9 flying power into play and have 4 cards left in your deck and attack your opponent 4 times. Like, your opponent does have to respect this flying armada. And Thassa's Oracle would be at the bottom of the pile. You could just attack them 4 times. If they navigate that combat somehow, surprise, there's also Thassa's Oracle. We could also do it a little faster, which is why there's 1 Beast Whisperer in the deck. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. This guy does 2 things. If your Doomsday pile is Food Chain on top with Beast Whisper under it, then you can play your Food Chain, cast one of the spells in your deck that draws a card. Could be Brainstorm, Ponder, Baleful Strix, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath, or Quantum Riddler. Any of those things will then draw the Beast Whisperer. Then you can play Beast Whisperer and draw the rest of the pile with Mist Hologriffin, resulting in Thassa's Oracle. And don't worry about drawing a card with an empty deck. You can just feed the Beast Whisperer to the Food Chain before you cast your Oracle. We got that covered. If the combo's happening, we have an answer automatically. Beast Whisperer also just wins with Thassa's Oracle without Doomsday's help. If you have Food Chain, infinite Mist Hologriffins, infinite creature mana, that also means infinite card draw. Just draw your deck and then cast Thassa's Oracle. We don't even need Doomsday for that one. Having 2 of each of these cards in the deck is, I think, necessary. Obviously, in my first draft, when I was told what the challenge was, go make these 2 cards work together. I opened up Mox Field and I put 4 Doomsday, 4 Food Chain in the deck first, and then started filling in slots. And the problem is there's no room for Dark Ritual. So how fast are we going to Doomsday? It's not like you really want it in your opening hand. We're also not that dedicated of a Food Chain deck. We do want time to get set up for a while. And I've built the deck to be kind of mid-range fair. The deck being full of value creatures that do things when you don't have Food Chain, especially Quantum Riddler. I'm very excited about this one. This is card draw. It's a big body. It's also +6 mana. If you warp it out for 2, then exile it for 6. That's a Food Chain combo. It's also an outlet if you just warp it on turn 2 and then eventually have a Food Chain and then you have a bunch of mana, then you could cast it from warp and it's a draw card and a big body. I don't know that Food Chain is really part of the Legacy meta right now in any real way, but I think Quantum Riddler is a massive surge in technology for Food Chain decks. My original draft had a Muldrifter in it, then I remembered Quantum Riddler exists now and we don't need to do Muldrifter anymore. But Quantum Riddler also can be in the Doomsday pile. We could make a pile that's like Food Chain, Ponder, Riddler into Thassa's Oracle, and then Thassa's Oracle with 1 card in our deck and 4 Blue Devotion. Or 6 Blue Devotion if we have a different creature to feed, rather than one of the Riddlers itself. There's a bunch of lines here, and having a bunch of creatures in the deck, like Baleful Strix being a cantrip, Quantum Riddler, Uro, like you could work through a pile even if your Beast Whisperer is gone. I think given the scope of the challenge, This is a pretty responsible and well-constructed deck list. All we could do now is see if it hangs in the Legacy format against the 5 opponents we're about to queue it to. Let's do it. This is Food Chain Doomsday Brew Challenge. I'm on the draw in round 1. I do have Force and the best possible blue card and Force and another blue card. I'm going to keep this, actually. It's about as medium a hand. Like, obviously, I wish there was a cantrip or a second land, but getting the first Force on the house is really great. I have Surveil lands of both the Dimir and Simic variety in the deck. I play 19 lands plus 3 Hierarchs. We're drawing pretty live here, and the Food Chain just in the bank already, 1 of 2 available with Mist Hologriffin. Having to pitch a Thassa's Oracle to Force is rough if it comes to that. I do not have room for 2 of those. Doomsday usually plays 2 unless you have, in case you have to pitch 1 to Force, but obviously no room for that in this deck. They did not shuffle their Ponder. The second Food Chain, just what I wanted to see. I'm probably fetching Hedge Maze here. That's the one that sets up a Hierarch. That's the one that casts the Food Chains and arrows in my hand. Volcanic Island, suddenly. Are we Sneak and Show or are we Delver? Or I guess this could be Jeskai or Grixis Wizards. Those are both decks in the meta. Alright, looks like Sneak and Show to me. Suddenly glad I have 2 Forces. Show and Tell, Force, pitching Mist Hologriffin. Just drawing a card for free. It's like up the beanstalk, but it's a secret. Alright, I'm getting Hedge Maze. They are not going to attack my mana in game 1. This is not a Wasteland deck. Out of the board, sometimes they have Blood Moons. But right now, I think I'm safe to get the Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze sees Beast Whisperer. LOL. Well, that's not helpful right now. Land cantrip? Oh no. Well, that's unlucky. That was 3 looks at something like 27 hits in the deck. It's alright. We'll figure it out. The other Show and Tell. Would I rather play without Thassa's Oracle or without Uro? I think I have to live without. I just dumped Beats Whisperer. Yeah, I'm going to pitch the Oracle. Like, Doomsday can pick up that Beast Whisperer. It's not like it's gone. But I think playing a fair game where I grind them out is more likely to be successful here. Heck yeah, the turn 3 Ignoble Hierarch right on time. I just gotta hope they're out of gas. That was Show and Tell into Show and Tell on turn 2, turn 3. Spend some time figuring it out. How about that? And now they can make the next Show and Tell uncounterable, should they desire to do that. Or deploy Sneak Attack. God, that's so much worse. Alright, the triple hit. I don't think I have a way to combo out or survive this. Oh, Force of Will. The third one right on time. I am not going to attack for 1. I don't think Fatal Push will be useful, but I'll at least leave it up in case there's some world where it is. Alright, who's in there? Atraxa. And there's another Atraxa in the pile. That'll do. I'm good. I'm good. The triple send. Not great. I like Carpet. I like Veil. Force of Vigor can blow up an Omniscience or a Sneak Attack. I don't think Endurance is important here. Force of Vigor is a maybe. I think that Thoughtseize, Force of Will, and comboing them out are my primary plans here. Baleful Strix, not important to me here. I like my combo cards. I'm kind of side grading Ignoble Hierarch into Carpet of Flowers. Like, I can't feed Carpet of Flowers to Food Chain, but this will probably make more mana. Oh, Fatal Push. I gotta get rid of those before I get rid of any of these good cards. Never mind. Come on, chat, you almost let me do that. Okay. Strixes and this Hierarch, I still don't think are that good. Are they worth 1 Force of Vigor coming in? Strix is blue. Hierarch is green. I'm like cutting a green card for a Force of Vigor. I think that's okay. And I don't think I need 2 of these. I'd rather have the blue card and the Food Chain fodder than going any lower on that. Oh shit, did I just put the wrong cards in my deck? Oh my god. I think I did. Yep, there's my whole sideboard still on my sideboard. God damn it. Sorry, be your guard. Okay, I will keep my hand though. Force blue card and a plan to move forward in the game. Polluted Delta. My plan is to get Undercity Sewer with this. Petal. Undercity Sewer. I do want that. I do need lands eventually. Now the question is, do I play Strix or Riddler? Riddler is better with Food Chain. and Strix stays in play. So yeah, that's just like a double whammy for Strix. Black, blue, Strix on the stack. There are some creatures their deck produces that Strix could fight against, like Atraxa, or they probably don't have Bristlebrand. But I mean, Emrakul will kill me no matter what's going on. Thundering Falls. Kept the card. Scary. Another Lotus Petal. I do have the option here, if they play Show and Tell, to just put in Food Chain and roll the dice. Or put in Beast Whisper and roll the dice. Okay, they're stocking up. Great. Yeah, if I put in Beast Whisper off Show and Tell and they just put in something like Emrakul and pass, that sets me up for the easiest win next turn. Or at least the biggest swing at a win. I don't have a win in the bank because I don't have a Mist Hologriffin. I hope we get to do some cool stuff next turn, though. Right, big draws. Verdant Catacombs. I could get a land out of the way. I could put Basic Swamp in case I get Blood Mooned in the future. And the Swamp isn't the best land in my deck, but I will get it. All right, Food Chain is going to go on the stack here. Do they want to fight it? Can they afford to fight it? Yeah, they are forcing this. I think I have to just accept this as Hymn to Turok. Like, if I fight back, I can sack my whole board to cast Beast Whisperer with no payoff, and then I lose. Yeah, I'll just take the Force Pitching Atraxa as an exchange and attack for 1 there. Ponder. Yeah, that Force basically undid the stock up. Something's happening. The One Ring. I don't think I want them to have that. I'm going to Force Pitching my Riddler. If they daze here, it picks up a tap land that then kills City of Traders on the way back down. If they force, they're down to 1 card in hand, but all those cards will be back very quickly. Okay, they did have another force. Pitching a Show and Tell. All right, go nuts over there. Thassa's Oracle doesn't care about the One Ring, though. Let's see what we can do. I can cast Doomsday if I draw it. Brainstorm. Okay, I can just shove Beast Whisper and try to have a really big next turn. Or I could Brainstorm and try to do stuff now. I think I want to Whisper to some beasts. Bang, we're in there. They're going to have so many cards in their hand. But getting on board and like Noble Hierarch is a cantrip now. All right, you're up. Doomsdaying with the Beast Whisper already out's interesting because then every creature cantrips. I could get through my pile very quickly. Ponder. Pondering before tapping the One Ring's really interesting. Like, what if you just find everything you're looking for off the tap? Like, what if you just tap this and hit Show and Tell Emrakul, and now your Thundering Falls is tapped? Are they worried about the damage for some reason? Are they worried about getting Orcish Bowmastered from 0 mana? It's unclear. Lotus Petal. They might just have it anyway. Okay, stock up. Still haven't tapped the ring. That's spending all your mana, including a petal, when you could still just see more cards for free. It's very strange, the sequencing to me. I assume they have a plan and they know what they're doing, but I don't get it. All right, now tapping the ring when everything else has already happened. Now Basic Mountain kills City of Traders. All right, I'm getting a turn. Will it matter? There's that Fatal Push that should be in my sideboard. All right, Ignoble Hierarch, draw a card. I'm looking for Thoughtseizes here. Thoughtseizes and Forces. Brainstorm can get rid of this Fatal Push. They're in the tank. Like, are they gonna force this? Yeah, Pyroblast makes a ton of sense. That's just easy money. And I'll attack for 3. Yeah, Pyroblast is very easy to do there. Force would have been a hero play. If only this was a Veil of Summer. All right, tapping the ring. Playing Ponder. That means they need a Lotus Petal to do what they're going to do here. Even Ancient Tomb doesn't get Show and Tell on the stack. Basic lands stink. And they've used 3 petals already this game. They might have some number of Simian Spirit Guides in the deck. If they could really just zoom out Sneak Attack right now. That's a line. And I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze in the end step, try to get something going here. With Beast Whisperer, there's so many good hits. Hedge Maze. Basic Island's not one of them. Come on, deck. Almost anything. Okay. I can reset the One Ring and draw a card here. Petty Theft the One Ring. Resetting this damage is a little bit stinky. And this plays into Pyroblast. Like, I could have just played Brazen Borrower and drawn a card no matter what. But I don't think that actually wins the game. Okay. Brazen Borrower. I need to tap out of blue to do this. But I would like to draw the card. Thoughtseize is in my deck. Mist Hollow Griffin. All right, attack. It's the same damage to attack with Strix and Beast Whisperer as just Beast Whisperer plus Exalted, except this leaves Strix back to block. Ancient Tomb. If I hadn't bounced Ring, they wouldn't be able to tap. Or, yeah, they wouldn't be able... No, they would have one more turn. All right, Show and Tell. I guess I'm putting in Mist Hollow Griffin. I don't get to draw a card, but more material in play is better than less. Griffin comes in. Omniscience. Well, we're probably not beating that one. Emrakul. I'm not dead to just Emrakul. I have a blocker, and I have more than 6 permanents. Unfortunately, I know there's a One Ring in their hand, which is 3 more cards under this Omniscience. Ponder shuffled. Stock up. I mean, I'm dead here, but I have to make them do it. Sneak attack. One Ring. They didn't draw cards with the ring. They're more worried about their 5 life than they are about finding action, which might mean they just already have action. Okay, I'm going to have to sack 6 and then block with Baleful Strix. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I got to lose the Beast Whisperer here. 6. I could have sacked in a way that let me still cast Doomsday if I block it. Yeah, even there, when this game is just like spiraling out, I'm still could have played better. Good news is it didn't matter. Okay, an awkward misclick where I didn't get the sideboard, and this matchup is probably just really tough anyway. They're a more focused, more interactive combo deck than me. That's all right. A tough matchup and a misclick. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2 with a no-lander. I'll be mulling that. Okay, I'm in for this. Keep, and I'm going to get rid of Underground Sea. Is it Sea or is it Griffin, actually? I have a bunch of ways to find that Griffin. All right, Griffin to the bottom. I'll keep my mana under me. I am a mana-intensive deck. Urza Saga. Manifold Key. Okay, so this is the Mystic Forge deck. Basically nothing else that it could be. Or it could be some Tony Scaponi, Coveted Jewel, whatever. Now, do I want to invest in Noble Hierarch and try to have a bigger next turn, or just ponder and hope to find Force of Will? I'm going to invest the Noble Hierarch. I'm out here losing die rolls against combo decks. I got to take a little bit of a risk. Ancient Tomb. I hope they settle into Saga Gaming, but more likely they're going to cast Tezzeret or Karn or maybe even Ugin, the One Ring, just some messed up thing this turn. Ooh, they're just passing. This could be Kozilek's Command. Right, they did not Kozilek's Command me. I'm going to start with Brainstorm. Thoughtseize is live right now. Doomsday, all right. I'm going to put back Swamp and Underground Sea. And then I'm going to fetch Underground Sea and cast Ponder. I'm still looking for a Thoughtseize here. Underground Sea, Ponder. I can Doomsday with Brainstorm still available next turn. I don't think the second Hierarch is going to be much good. I'm going to shuffle this. All right, pass. Yeah, regular Doomsday would be in a good shape right now. Being able to resolve Doomsday with Brainstorm still up should usually present a win somehow. But my deck doesn't do all that. I need at least one more turn to function, and I don't think I'm going to get it from these Construct beatdowns because you'd lose half your life when you play Doomsday. Yeah, there's Kozilek's Command, my favorite card. They exiled and drew a card. Scry to the top. Now I can't Doomsday this turn anyway, which is great because I wasn't going to be able to in real life. All right, Brainstorm. Orcish Bowmaster could buy a little bit of time. Pass. This is 2 blockers, and they might even draw a card. Lotus Petal. Saga. One Ring. All right, I'll respond to that by pinging them. I'm going to fetch Bayou. Put 1 damage on their face here, right on their smelly face. They're at 11 already from the Ancient Tombs, but now the coast is clear. They have protection, nothing to worry about. Okay, I'll put a damage on a construct. Can't go face because they have protection. I'm just going to chump with Orc Army. I'll leave Bowmaster in play. If there is a cheese out here, it's probably like drawing another Bowmaster and then they tap the ring and just die somehow. Right, another Brainstorm. I've drawn all 4 of those this game, and none of them are good. If I Doomsday, I lose. So both Doomsdays getting shuffled away here. We love it. I'm going to get Underground Sea and cast Ponder. A Strix, another Bowmaster. There's a couple good draws here. Thassa's Oracle's not one of them. I'm going to shuffle this. Strix, we did it. Okay. I get to see another turn at least. If they have a removal spell, that's not true anymore. Or they just make one construct unblockable. Never mind. I'm actually just dead if they see the line. Unlucky. All right. Super dead. I do have sideboard for this. This is a matchup that is popular in the metagame right now, and you should be ready for it. I've got Consigns, Forces. I think even Barrogoyf is good here. This is probably a matchup where I'm just going to become Bug Control, which I know there's always those in the comments who wonder what's the point of registering a deck if I'm just going to sideboard out the interesting part. Well, that's part of playing decks. Knowing what cards are good and bad in matchups and then presenting the best 60 you can. And if my deck has the mode of Bug Control after board, I'm going to use it. A Fatal Push is good versus Constructs and Fleshraker. Barrogoyf is just a way to hit them. Obviously, Consign, Null Rod, Force of Vigor don't need any explanation. And then just Bug Control. Here we go. Do I want to leave one food chain in? Does that even do anything? Not really. Okay. Well, here we go. The speed of the format requires me to make certain concessions sometimes. All right, force but no green card. I can draw a card off Strix before that's a huge problem. If they have a turn 1 send, it's just already a huge problem. I think I have to mulligan this. There we go. I'm going to bottom the basic island here and just Thoughtseize them. Swamp, Thoughtseize. Fleshraker, Kozilek's Command, Ugin, and Tomb Tower Shop. I'm going to take Kozilek's Command. I have an answer for Fleshraker, and I have an answer for Ugin. Urza's Tower is in play. Verdant Catacombs, Thoughtseize you again. Take the Ugin. They drew another tower this turn. Ancient Tomb. Fleshraker resolves. I'm going to get Undercity Sewer and set up a Brainstorm, Shuffle, Fatal Push. Consign to Memory, that one's good. Okay, Brainstorm. I don't need these Hierarchs. I have to fetch Bayou here for everything to work. Or I could... Oh, no. It's the opposite. I'm going to cast Fatal Push off the Swamp. I'm going to fetch Tropical Island and then push off Swamp. Right. I had that mapped out in my head. Now I have to hope this Barrogoyf holds. Urza's Saga is not a game-ending threat, but it is pretty good. I'm just going to consign like anything here because I know they're floundering, and I'm going to tap out for Barrogoyf, who is a 6/7. All right, Barrogoyf, get in there. I'll play out the land. I'm not bluffing anything with one card in my hand. All right, they have a bunch of big draws they could slam here. I'm just going to hope they maybe don't. Pithing Needle, naming Barrogoyf, get me. Oh, Fatal Push, Brazen Borrower are good draws here. If I could get a swing in with Barrogoyf, that would be nice. All right, Psychic Frog. That card is not legal in the format, opponent. Good guess, though. A Brainstorm. I am going to do this first to see if I find an answer to the blocker, or we could do it that way. All right, attack with Barrogoyf. All right, they're going to take 2 and not have a construct instead of take 6 and have a construct. And I'm going to slam the second Big Barrow. And F6. Let's go. I hope that one unknown card in their hand is not a good one. All right, you make it 2/2. It can become 3/3. They could get something like Soul Guide Lantern, which could fiddle with the size of Barrogoyf a little bit. But we both have stuff in our graveyard. They have a Kindred instant and a Planeswalker and a creature. I have the land and sorcery, but they're about to put an enchantment and a land in theirs as well. We've got a 7/8 Barrogoyf. Oh yeah. Right, there's Tower. They tutored a Candelabra. I'm drawing Ponder. And I'm going to attack first because the Goyfs are going to, at least one of them is going to do something cool here. Opponent loses half their life total. We get a big mill for 7. I am going to use it. Baleful Strix Quantum Riddler. Oh my god. Quantum Riddler straight into the grip. Guess how many cards are in my hand? The answer is 1. That means I get to draw 2 here. Boing boing. Ooh. Alright. Do I think pondering for interaction or leaving a Bowmaster is better? It's almost certainly pondering for interaction. Alright, ponder. And there is a Thoughtseize while they have 1 card in hand. I'm going to put this Force of Vigor in my grip. I could have actually drawn 2 cards there if I used Trop to play Hierarch, then pondered. That would have triggered Riddler. But I think having mana up there, in case I hit a consign, was worth more. Look at that. Natural 8/9 Barrowgwaif. We have everything except battles in the graveyard. That's awesome. I did mill over a Null Rod with Barrowgwaif, so they know I have that card. Manipulate Fate is still a pretty powerful cantrip, but I don't think there's cards that's worse than that in the deck right now. Yeah, here we go. Let's do it. Force but no blue card. I do have Thoughtseize. I think I have to keep this and hope they don't turn 1 me. This is almost perfect. Saga. That only taps for 1. Now there's 2. Grim Monolith. Tez. Alright, well, there's that one. That can untap Grim Monolith by itself, or it can tutor something that can untap Grim Monolith twice next turn. Fleshraker. Alright, well, they are extremely on board. Is Thoughtseizing them even good here? They got 1 card left in hand. It couldn't have been a 4-drop this turn. Tez can tutor various 1s. I'm thinking right now whether I should Thoughtseize that last card or develop Ignoble Hierarch and try to do 2 things next turn. I do have a blue card to go with my Force at this point, which I didn't have last turn. But I am behind this Tezzeret and this Fleshraker and this Urza Saga by now. Alright, I think I'm going to choose to trust in Force of Will and play this Ignoble Hierarch. That lets me play Thoughtseize and Bowmaster next turn. I don't even know if those will be good enough, but it lets me do it. Tez untapping Monolith, Ancient Tomb, 6 mana showing, the One Ring. Okay. Definitely countering that. And they have exactly enough mana to still make a construct this turn, because they have 1 floating and then the spawn is here. Yep, there's that. I take 1 when it enters, and Tezzeret gets bigger. Okay, and somehow this hand I kept with Thoughtseize in turn 1 will not have a target. Alright, I guess I'm playing Undercity Sewer and passing. Polluted Delta to the graveyard, chip it. Just try to click fast so it doesn't look super obvious that I have Bowmaster. If I can deal with Fleshraker in combat, that gives me a lot of options here. Oh, Tess is about to go off. Alright, I'm going to see what they tutor, and then maybe respond and ping Tez. Yeah, this thing at 7, they haven't actually cast a single artifact since that card came into play. I'm never beating this emblem, though. So I am just going to ping Tezzeret. Yuck. Alright, what do I need to do from here? I need to, like, brainstorm into Force of Vigor green card and additional action. Fleshraker still can't afford to attack this turn. They can use Monolith to make stuff unblockable. Alright, Tez is tutoring. That takes a bunch of pressure off the emblem. They got Portable Hole that they can't cast right now. I mean, I'll block. Can't afford to take big chunks of damage here. Come on, deck. Something good. Oh my god. Even hardcast Force of Vigor would have been pretty solid there. I can at least take this Portable Hole. I got that going for me. Take it away. Polluted Delta can get my other fetch land, or my other surveil land. They can make 1 creature unblockable this turn, or 3 activate 0 Tez. No, they can make them both unblockable. Hey, everybody's coming in. I'll block one of the 4s. I go to 5, so I'm dead next turn. They can untap one of their creatures here, which makes it bigger. I just didn't use Tez at all. I'll take it. Alright, Force of Vigor, I need you. Hedge Maze, trigger. Force of Will, not helpful anymore. Come on, deck. Cool stuff. Good cards. Uro. Alright. You're saying there's a chance. A swamp. Green, blue, colorless. This leaves up the most options of what I could draw. Barrowgwaif. Unfortunately, I'm already dead. They can just make 2 creatures unblockable next turn. But, alright, here's Barragoyf. I'll pass. I'm dead. I've seen them use Manifold Key before. Do they realize that they have 2 activations with it? I guess is the question. They deleted Tez, so they didn't see the onboard line, but they might just tutor a second key here and do the same thing. Soul Guide Lantern. Wow. What's going on over there? This puts me to 6, and they can attack me for 5 unblockable. Right, exiled Uro. If they draw Soul Guide Lantern, or if they draw with Soul Guide Lantern, then they're down an artifact and it all washes out. No, if they draw an artifact, I get pinged for 1, then they make their 5/5 unblockable. The spawn is a problem because Barragoyf doesn't gain life now. Alright, they made a 5/5 unblockable. I need to remove this Eldrazi spawn. Barragoyf has to get through somehow. Okay, they're doing a second main card draw. If this draws any artifact, I lose. Because they just ping me for 1. Mana's in the pool. Lots of it. Alright, the old miss lethal into heaven anyway. Fair enough. GG's. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw with the classic Orcish Bowmaster Thassa's Oracle 5-lander. I think I have to mulligan this. There are matchups where I'd keep it, but I don't know that we're playing against one of them. Oh no. Go to 5 or try to make this work. It's bad against Wasteland. And the problem with Hierarch is that it's not actually a land, and if I can't cast it turn 1, then it's really bad. Alright, we're going to 5. Okay. Keep, bottom Griffin, and... Man, this Noble Hierarch's breaking my balls here. In order to cast the Ignoble, I would need the Trop, but the Trop does not cast Doomsday. But without the Trop to turn on Ignoble, I don't have 3 black anyway. I think I'm going to bottom the Ignoble Hierarch and try to speedrun a Doomsday here. A Swamp. Cabal Therapy. Well, Thoughtseize they might name in the blind, but usually Cabal Therapy decks name Force of Will or Brainstorm. Yeah, Brainstorm. Okay. What is this Cabal Therapy deck, and am I able... You name Force of Will if you're playing to win right now, and you name Brainstorm if you're not. Let's find out what you're doing over there. Thoughtseize you. I hope this is really good. It's also cool that they didn't see any weird cards. They just saw a bunch of lands, Thoughtseize Doomsday. If they concede... I mean, there's so much game to play. Like, conceding to hide information here would be preposterous. But if they were to do that... Oh, we're playing against Pox. Well, I have to take Bowmaster, or else I get Bowmaster plus Therapy next turn. Unfortunately, I led on the Underground Sea because I was setting up the Ponder for next turn, but now I lose my good land instead of my bad one. If they jam the Smallpox, which I think they're supposed to. Like, what else does this deck even do? That Urborg is pretty risky for them, though. I would love to have triple black out of my hand. Catacombs, did we hit a good card, or are we just casting Smallpox? Yeah. Alright. I think I'm going to discard Doomsday here and just try to keep my mana under me. They discarded the Urborg. I know Verdant Catacombs in their hand right now, and then 1 mystery card. Ponder. Just looking for stuff that does stuff. This is not it. I kind of like Ignoble Hierarch, but I don't like anything else that's going on here. Shuffle that. Mist Hollow Griffin. Alright. That's eventually a threat. Something like Quantum Riddler is what this game's going to be about. Verdant Catacombs. They didn't cast Life from the Loam. Cool. If they loamed me there, I was probably just dead. I'm going to play out the basic, hide the information. They technically... Or no, I cast Ponder, not Brainstorm. So they did know about the Swamp. Oh no. They have an Entomb. This might just dump a Life from the Loam, which is pretty sweet. Or they might actually have something insane to do here. Yeah, Life from the Loam. Bad news, team. These are the decks, by the way, when I defend Entomb. Like, obviously, Reanimator has been on a line for almost 2 years now. But oh fuck. All right, well, they found a Wasteland and a Liliana. Okay, well, I'll finish my thought. The Reanimator decks have been out of line for quite a while now, but they weren't for a long time. And other decks can use Entomb too. Okay, I'm gonna put away Sewer and Griffin. I'm in a waste lock now. How do I even get out of this? I could put back Sewer and Underground Sea and fetch a basic and try to play on 2 mana. Does my deck even play on 2 mana? Probably not versus a Liliana. All right, I'm going to fetch my basic. Anyway, yeah, I think Entombing for Life from the Loam is cool enough to try to protect Entomb. If we can't get the deck in line without banning Entomb, like whatever, we can do it. But for now, I don't think that's what we need to do. Okay, Wasteland me first. They're going to cast Loam here, and I am going to force it. Just buy myself a turn to do anything, I guess. Because they're going to minus Liliana here. Strix is gone. Now I need a Bowmaster. Oh, no. All right. We're in the hooks. Now I have to play every card I draw every turn, or Liliana will dump it. And if I play a card that's not a basic land, and which I'm out of, by the way, then that just gets wasted. They picked up a Eumidian Hatchery. They've got a win condition now. The old Inside Out Bitter Blossom. Another Doomsday. I don't think I can win this game anymore, but I do want to see more of their deck. They're going to have to loam quite a bit here. At some point, they can waste their own Hatchery to put a bunch of bugs into play. I'm pretty much always rooting for Pox, though. If we lose a game or even a match to Pox, I'll take it. Another Entomb. This could now Entomb some sicko value land that they can loan back forever. If they have a Ghost Quarter, this is a good time to get it. If they have Urza Sagas or something that's a win con, this is a good time to get it. Whoa, Akuta Born of Ash. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may sack a swamp. If you do, return this to the battlefield. Sure. Hell yeah. That'll be back at some point. Brainstorm. Send it. All right, I'll put 2 lands back and play Blue to Delta. A little bit of traction here, but the Wasteland is still in play. Dredged Loam, Orcish Bowmaster revealed. They've got access to that one. They're in one of those spots where I think it is actually reasonable to Wasteland to fetch. Because they could waste again this turn, and if I'm out of basics, then, bad news for me. I think I have to draw the Blue to Delta on top of my deck. I hope I put that back correctly. Cool. All right, this gives me 1 turn with 4 mana. Or 1 turn with 3 mana, because they can still waste in my upkeep. All right, Akuta triggers. And they're going to sack their Eumidian Hatchery, which is now a swamp thanks to Urborg. That's cool tech. A cool card from one of the worst sets in Magic's history. Saga from hand. Both my Doomsdays discarded. And now they have enough damage that it doesn't matter. The Liliana just going nuts over there means I couldn't even have played my Mist Hologriffin last turn. Alright, I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze, and they're going to Wasteland it. Alright, you don't need to waste it that aggressively. Right, Ignoble Hierarch does not matter. And I could fetch the Undercity Sewer, but that doesn't matter. I'll take a draw, and if this is a green card... Okay, Brainstorm. Stay storming over here. Alright. I've seen enough. I'm in the lock. And now they're actually pressuring me. Eumidian Hatchery, really good for Pox. I have... Oh, I guess I haven't played it on the channel yet. The way that this is going to be released. I've recorded it already, but this league is going to come out before that one. Veil of Summer is great. Beargoyf's great. Just anything that can hit my opponent. Endurance. Hey, what is less good here? Fatal Push. We've seen Bowmasters, but I have Bowmasters for their Bowmasters. Thoughtseize is a bad draw later, but it's very good early on. I think I can play with a little bit less of that. I do want both of my combos in. Just wiggling out of their squeeze and doing something messed up is a way to steal the game versus them. Mana Dorks are historically terrible versus the card Smallpox, though they are good at helping you get ahead of mana denial, so we're in a bit of a squeeze there. Beast Whisperer is funny. This might actually just solo Pox if I can get it going on its own, even without any combos. I think I'm going to go -1 Hierarch. All right, let's go. Quantum Riddler. just absolute unit versus a Pox deck. If I can find and get this set up. Okay, Thoughtseize, a good Force of Will, and a good Manipulate Fate. I'm going to keep this. This hand is weak to Wasteland, but what else is new? I'm going to fetch Bayou. All right, Thoughtseize ya. Zuran Orb double Wasteland, Entomb Liliana. How about you chill? How about that? All right, I'm going to take the Liliana, and I'll pass. All right, double Wasteland sucks. I was hoping to see 0. I was ready to wade through 1. Now we have to hit a lot of land drops in a row. But they do at some point have to play one of those Wastelands and tap it for mana to cast Life from the Loam. Sewer, show me a land. Brazen Borrower to the graveyard. If I can keep the pressure up on the Wastelands, that's how this goes well for me. If they just don't draw lands, that's also really good for me. Like if their hand is now a bunch of clunky shit with only Boseiju and Wasteland as mana, that's a way I can get away with this. All right, deck. Moment of truth. I hate you, deck. I hate you, deck. Sorry, I have Endurance green card. I have Force blue card. I can stay this out for a while. Oh, even Ghost Quarter. Yikes. Pluto Delta. We're gaming. Okay, I'm going to pass. They'll probably play Boseiju Life from the Loam this turn. And I think I have to Endurance away the Wastelands. Or, no, I can force the Loam and then Endurance all of it away. That's what I'm going to do. All right, Force pitching Mist Hollow Griffin. Loam's in the graveyard. And I don't need to Endurance yet. I'm going to fetch the Hedge Maze here. Hedge Maze finds Verdant Catacombs, and we're back in. I'm going to fetch Underground Sea and cast Manipulate Fate. Search your library for 3 cards. It's going to be Griffin, Griffin, and something else because there's a Griffin already out. Okay, Griffin, Griffin, and what card do I not want here? I don't think I want to draw a Doomsday this game. All right, I'm going to get rid of Doomsday because I'm really far away from casting it. And then I'm going to Endurance their graveyard away, pitching this Food Chain. I wish I could play Food Chain and then do a bunch of cool stuff with all these Griffins I just banked, but we're really far away from doing that. They can Entomb another Loam at some point. Yeah, that one turn I missed a land drop was pretty devastating. Like, if they don't have the mana to cast Loam and waste me because I'm 1 mana ahead, then I could take a turn off, hard cast Endurance, keep the Food Chain, put 3 Griffins into play, then they can never win. Bowmaster's not bad. Okay, I'm going to pass and see what they do. Entomb resolves. Yeah, I just got a Loam going there. Zuran Orb and 3 unknowns in the mix. Ghost Quartering your own land here. Do they have another Loam in their hand? If they did, why would they entomb one? Thoughtseize. Okay, well, I'll respond to that with Bowmaster and Brainstorm. I have to fetch first because I can't afford to shuffle. I want to hide the good cards. All right, Underground Sea, Brainstorm. Okay, I'm going to put 2 Brainstorms on top of my deck. I'm going to Bowmaster killing their bug. And then they could Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize, and I'll untap with 2 Brainstorms available. All right, here we go. I don't feel good about the game. Too many Loams, that relentless pressure. Brainstorm. Veil of Summer does not help anymore, because Wasteland is just going to start happening soon. I'll cast Ponder here. All right, I guess I'm not going to shuffle. There is a Veil in my hand. I'll attack Grist for 1. Maybe they trade their bug. Maybe they don't care. Yeah, trade the bug. Sure. Dredge the Loam. Hit a Wasteland. Dang it, man. Come on. Chill. All right. Now there's a Wasteland and a Ghost Quarter in there. I was ready to play through Ghost Quarter. If they're just wasting me, I'm in a lot of trouble. Grist, milled a Barrenmore. Decided to develop Urza Saga rather than get back to wasting me right away. Zuran Orb's in, finally. A Ponder. Do I like the Hierarch? Do I like the Doomsday under it? How do I make any of this work? Veil of Summer's bad now. So if I go Doomsday, Hierarch, Brainstorm, don't shuffle, then Brainstorm, put back Doomsday, Barrogoyf. Barrogoyf doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to put back Barrogoyf, Doomsday. Then I'll play Noble Hierarch, and I'll attack Grist for 2. Okay, this is the best way I can set up Doomsday, knowing that they have Wasteland and Ghost Quarter in hand is pretty messed up. Luckily, if they Wasteland me this turn, it looks like green is my worst color, or my least stable color. If they have a million IQ and just Ghost Quarter me here, that would suck. All right, attacking with Insect Token. I'm not going to block. Surprise. They could minus Grist to kill Hierarch and waste me and just really put me in the trash. Oh, wow. All right, yep. They're making the correct plays from a Pox perspective here. Bowmaster doesn't matter anymore. I'm Brainstorm locked. I really needed 3 mana to do anything this game. All right, that was sweet. I can't win. They have Saga. I'm in a Wasteland lock. I needed them to have fewer than 3 Wastelands this game, and they had 2 in the opening hand and then just milled into the third one right now on this last turn. We were almost Doomsdaying. It was so close to actually getting something going there. On to the next one. Always happy to lose to Pox. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4. I'm going to keep my hand. I'm against Dominique Tudor, who is kind of a brewer online, who recently played like a Warped Life Gain deck in a cool event. All right, the Warped Life Gain deck is live here. Guide of Souls, yep. This looks like what we're playing against. Okay, I'm going to get Tropical Island and play Ignoble Hierarch to start this game. The cheeky attack. I will not block. Might as well attack and see if I just randomly chump block here before you make any other decisions. Core Steel Cutter. You'll post-combat Cutter. I like that. And now, thinking about my life. I could brainstorm away this Griffin, manipulate Fate, chuck 3 Griffins. I could hold up Orcish Bowmaster. I could play Baleful Strix. I could brainstorm, then Baleful Strix. I think I want to brainstorm Strix here. Brainstorm. I do play removal. If I find some part of my combo, I can start working on that. Right, Griffin's going to go. And I don't think I want to Thoughtseize them. Maybe ever. All right, Griffin and Thoughtseize are gone. I'm going to get Underground Sea and play Baleful Strix. All right, that's in there. Fatal Push. That's good against their deck. I hope. I do need to go big. I'm not going to beat this deck in a fair game because they're really good at just doing fair, grindy, putting a bunch of tokens into play mess. Flicker Wisp. Okay, they're flickering Witchblessed Meadow, which will come back and kill Baleful Strix. That's cool. The Scam Strat. Just flipping your land into a creature. Luckily, it's a 2/2. Unluckily, it does have a target. All right, that's gone. I can clear a bunch of their junk right now, like Bowmaster kills Flicker Wisp, Fetch, Fatal Push, Witch Enchanter, or leave Witch Enchanter there and hit the Guide of Souls. I think that's better for me. Okay. Underground Sea, Orcish Bowmaster. Kill Flicker Wisp. Take out a 3/1 flying is always nice. Backup Hierarch. And pass with Fatal Push available. They are down a land because they turned it into a creature. The fuck? Oh no, the Hellkite. Wow, what a devastating card for them to have against exactly my deck. Yeah, when this enters, it deals 1 damage to target creature an opponent controls. That's my whole board. Yeah, this thing has haste. It gets to attack as well. All right. They targeted the correct creature, which means I have to Fatal Push Guide of Souls now. They do gain 1 life and get 1 energy off of that, but they don't have an outlet for that anymore. Do they have a 0-cost spell to trigger Quarry Steel Cutter? Fury and Solitude could be in this deck, theoretically. It takes 6 damage. Normally Warp. The creature just comes in, then goes away, but the Nova Dragon or Nova Hellkite has haste, so it gets a little extra. Okay. I have the necessary mana here to manipulate Fate and still cast Endurance in combat. Manipulate, exile the 3 Griffins. Griff, Graf, and Gruff. Those are their names. I'm going to attack for 2 with Orcish Bowmaster, and hopefully Endurance can hold the fort versus their last 2 cards. There is still the Hellkite and Warp. I don't want to forget about that. I could start dropping 3/3s out of exile next turn. Equipping Quarry Steel Cutter, the old-fashioned way. Awesome. Got to get your damage where you can. All right, fetch. It's Endurance time. If they have Swords of Plowshares, that's fine. What land do I want? It barely matters here. I'm going to get Bayou. Endurance. I'll target my opponent. I don't know if they're going to use their graveyard, but let's just take it away. Block. Wow, we got the full eat there. A good exchange. That's the first time in this entire league I feel like anything has gone my way. Right, they dumped a redundant Quarry Steel Cutter. Clearly not about to cast 2 spells. Brainstorm. Get the Sewer out of here. Sewer's back in my deck. Right, I could Uro into Bowmaster here. And I can fetch, so I don't even need the land. Right, fetch. I'll get another Underground Sea, and I'll play Uro. Gain 3. Found a Brainstorm, and attacking with everything is now better than attacking with one thing, because it is more damage. I could shove the Bowmaster to push an extra point in there, but this deck, if they have stuff like Ocelot Pride in it, the Bowmaster could find other homes. 1 mana away from Nova Hellkite coming back down. There it is. Well, they could Hellkite here, kill one of my creatures, and have a 4/5 haste. If there's Hellkite, they went after my poor Hierarch. I'll get the Bowmaster in while I can. And they're not winning the damage race, so I don't expect an attack here, unless they have a plan to burn me out next turn. They're going to 1 if they attack. Wow. All right. Game on, I guess. And I have Uro in my graveyard. What's the plan to race me here? I'm honestly a little bit terrified. All right. Green, green, blue, blue. Uro's on the stack. I'm at 11. Force of Will. That's a good one to have in the bank. All right. I will put them to 1. They've got to find 7 more damage through a Force of Will somehow. Galvanic Discharge. Okay. This could just be a energy buildup, or it could be just a spell for Quarry Steel Cutter. Oh, wait. Where'd they get energy? Oh, the fucking guy earlier. Right. Never mind. All right, Cutter triggers. Yeah, I forgot they had energy in the bank. I still don't think I forced that, but I'm not going to pretend I did that on purpose. I am going to force the Ocelot Pride, because that represents 2 lifelink damage. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm exactly dead to Lightning Bolt, if they have that card. Oh, all right. Yeah, that got closer than I wanted it at the end. I just forgot about banked energy. Who needs it? A Barrogoyf comes in. I don't have a lot for them, but I do have a big stupid asshole to get in their way. Consigned to Memory is not without text. They do have a bunch of triggers in their deck. I don't think I'm going to do that, though. Endurance is just a large body. We saw Quarry Steel Cutter. I don't think that's enough reason to play Force of Vigor. Good chance Goblin Bombardment's in their deck. I don't like that one very much. I think I'm going to shave some Thoughtseizes and otherwise leave my deck intact. Turn Thoughtseizes into big booties. I still got all my combos. They didn't see Doomsday at all. They saw Mist Hollow Griffin, but not Food Chain, but like you can figure out what Mist Hollow Griffin's for. Well, this is the fastest Food Chain I've ever seen. Or at least that my deck is capable of presenting. I'm going for it. They've got an Ocelot Pride, the best card in the deck. The reason for existing. I'm just going to try to race it, I guess. Plateau. Please don't cast Goblin Bombardment. That card is not beatable. Obviously, no block. A Johnny. Okay. I don't like that card either, but it's way better for me than Goblin Bombardment would be. The old Doomsday. All right, well, there's Doomsday. I could fetch Underground Sea right now and try to move in that direction. Is that helpful at all? Right now I'm deciding, do I want to just cast Food Chain, pass, and, you know, good luck, have fun? I think I am going to do that. I'm going to fetch Underground Sea, which is potentially a damage I didn't need to take. But if I do suddenly find a path into Doomsday, That's interesting, because I can cast... If I draw a black source, I could cast Doomsday with a Ponder still up to then jumpstart the chain. Wow, yeah, with the food chain already invested. The Nova Hellkite, that's fucking gross. Yep. This is a huge crush of damage. I need a creature that can start my food chain here. I'm at 9. I might just get goldfished here. Oh no, not that. All right, what do I need? I need Quantum Riddler. I'm going to ponder and hope it's exactly Quantum Riddler. Baleful Strix. That gets me up to 3 mana. That's not enough. Yeah, I got to shuffle and look for Quantum Riddler. Baleful Strix anyway. All right. Black, blue. I'll play it. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not quite dead. All right, passing the turn. Okay. Strix is dead. I could have exiled it so they wouldn't get any energy, but it being in my graveyard is slightly useful. Oh, God. All right. Well, the old limited curve out got me there. I don't think I'm making any changes. I'm just on the play where everything's better. We were so close there. We were close to the Doomsday food chain line. The basic swamp. Gonna mulligan. Okay. I gotta rock with this. I could bottom the island and just play Hedge Maze. Or I could bottom Hedge Maze, fetch for it. I'm going to bottom the island. I'm going to play Hedge Maze. This could bork my curve. Okay. Orcish Bowmaster on top of my deck, I like. That can answer an Ocelot Pride, Squeaky Clean. I could Fatal Push if they play something that's not an X1 here. Working my way up to Barrowgoyf, as always. And I have a Riddler this time. I have a Reload and a large creature for later. We're both warping. Guide of Souls. All right, there's that one. I'm just going to play Bayou and pass. It's on them to do something here. And like if they play Ocelot Pride, I can Bowmaster that. If they try to do something with Guide of Souls, I could push it in response. The options are for me. If they attack with Guide of Souls, I could ping and block. Mystic Peak, sweet. Opponent's got some tech in here. A Johnny. How do I feel about a Johnny? I get 2 energy. All right. Thinking about that for as long as I did might be weird. Yeah, 2 energy is not 3. That's the important number here. Like if Guide of Souls attacks, I could still get to work with Bowmaster. But Johnny has how much starting loyalty? 3. That's more than I want. Okay, I can push a Johnny here. I could Bowmaster Cat Warrior, untap, push Guide of Souls, and attack. That's a lot of... And that's a Johnny in play. Like I could put 2 damage on a Johnny. He's down to 1. I don't think that's any good. I think I'm just going to push a Johnny. This is the creature that I'm worried about turning into something else. Let's get rid of it. Undercity Sewer. I could just shove Barrowgoyf here. If I play Barrowgoyf, it's 3/4, which does die to the energy removal spell. I'm going to play Undercity Sewer. I don't want Polluted Delta. All right, I'll pass here. I don't have a ton of faith in Bowmaster, but it can at least kill the Cat Warrior. Witch Meadow zaps them down to 15. Ugh. All right, well, I'm going to kill this cat before a Johnny can see it die. All right, this turns on Guide of Souls if it wants to fly. And the coast is clear for Ocelot Pride. Guide of Souls attacking. If it jumps, I can't do anything. If it doesn't jump, I will double block. All right, it jumped. Down to 1 energy. Barrowgoyf still dies to discharge at 1 energy. I need to find one other card type to put in a graveyard before that changes. Chrome Mox. Exciting. Suddenly a Stompy deck. Deep in game 3. Pitched Pinnacle Monk. All right, so they have something for 2 mana. Is that Felia? What are we doing that we care about that? All right, I think I'm just going to cast... Oh, both Hedge Maze and Undersea Sewers in play already. I was about to say I could just fetch for something, but I'm going to develop the Goyf. They have enough going on that I can't play slow anymore, and next turn, I'm likely to draw 2 cards off Riddler. Yep, Felia. Well, that can flicker a Johnny to crank out cats. It could just remove Barrowgoyf from blocking. Exile up to 1 non-land permanent. So Felia can't flip their lands into creatures. Ocelot Pride. Well, they're going wide. I'm going to have to combo out now. That's also a second activation of Guide of Souls. Well, Felia has to, or no, they can jump Felia, never mind. I was about to say Felia has to delete Barogoyf, but no, at 3 energy, they can make it fly. And they're going to flicker out the Ajani. That's not without risk, because right now I could Fatal Push Ocelot Pride without Ajani getting flipped, but I think they can safely deduce I don't have that card. This also immediately puts 2 energy back in the bank, where Galvanic Discharge is back on. They're going to have the City's Blessing. Ocelot Pride's going to go nuts. Yep, here comes everything. Bunch of life, a zillion energy, copying all the tokens. And I'm going to fetch in my upkeep. Underground Sea, big draw. God, Force of Will is not a big draw. All right, so I need to riddle into like Food Chain plus Uro or something here. It's not a good situation. Fetch for Doomsday doesn't save me. I guess I'll get Underground Sea. And I'm going to warp the Riddler. I could just tap out for it, but they have so much power and toughness in play that I don't think that even saves me. Okay, I draw 2. Brainstorm. Brainstorm could be useful. There's a Doomsday. I think it's too late for that. Bowmaster can kill Ocelot Pride. Endurance is a little slow. Is this game remotely winnable? What does Doomsday do? Nothing. Not without the food chain. Not under this much pressure. Alright, I'll put these back. And I'll move to combat. I need Barogoyf's lifelink if I'm doing anything this game. Though I'm probably still not doing anything this game. But I would love to mill the cards off the top of my deck. Double blocking Barogoyf. I could save Barogoyf, but then Ocelot Pride gets to continue to live. They're attacking me for 9, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 next turn. I don't think I can do anything about this. There's already a creature in the graveyard, so Bowmastering to kill something doesn't get the double blowout. Alright, this just has to happen. Alright, Ajani flips. Oh, everything they can... Or no, they could just put more stats on one of their big creatures already. If they try to put stats on one of their small creatures, I can ping it and get another turn. But if they just target Guide of Souls or Felia again, it's over. Another guide. There's no red permanents in play. Oh, put a +1 on all your cats. Yeah, that works. All right, GG. That's a word on that card too. Yeah, I don't want to be a mid-range deck versus any Ocelot Pride deck. They're just going to outvalue you, and my combos did not come together. The one game where it was almost going to happen, my opponent did a really good job controlling my mana. We got one more match coming. Let's try to put one on the board. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round, trying to fend off a reverse trophy. Certainly being on the play has what's been keeping me down. I'm going to Thoughtseize my opponent. I would prefer to wait, but in this format we live in, it's seize or be seized. Wowee. Alright, High Tide is what we're up against with Sapphire Medallion. There's a scroll here that's a redundant High Tide. There's a Force of Will. That could buy them some time. I could just take the Tide and make them find another one. Yeah, I think... Or I could take Ponder and make their hand worse. Oh, this is a 1-lander. Yeah, I'm taking Ponder, you greedy sack. All right. Who gave you the advice to keep any hand with Ponder in it? That sounds like suspicious advice. All right, that could go wrong if my opponent just like draws 2 lands in a row. But I'm going to hope that doesn't happen. Mist Hollow Griffin, Undercity Sewer. I don't need a 3rd Underground Sea. I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, they missed. We got them. Okay, my options here are tap out for Food Chain, flush out their Force, or play Brazen Borrower, start attacking. I'm going to play Brazen Borrower on their turn, which is a little awkward because they're about to go to discard anyway, so this Force is kind of a 1-for-1. But I'll take 1-for-1 if the one I get is Force. I clean up, dump to Turnabout. Now I have a Force. Cool. Attack with Brazen Bee. And I think I can actually win the game right now. Food Chain. I'm going for it. Sack for blue. Play Mist Hollow Griffin. Force pitching High Tide. I'm going to force pitching Riddler and hope this works. I'm either dead or I win here. All right, sweet. Exile for blue. All right, I just got to ramp my way up into the Beast Whisperer, and then I draw my deck and play Thassa's Oracle. I got 8 blue in the pool right now. Now I can go green, Beast Whisperer, draw my deck. Heck yeah! All right, we did it. We food chained somebody. All it took was a combo deck that didn't do anything. Carpet of Flowers coming in. Veil of Summer looks good enough. I like Bowmaster in this matchup. Doomsday's so sick. I'm not going to board it out because I want to give it a chance. Fatal Push is coming out. Baleful Strix is pretty bad here, but it is blue and is a food chain step. Endurance is not blue, but it is a food chain step. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to leave Endurance in. All right, here we go. This is the plan. I don't know their win con. I don't know if Consigned to Memory is going to be any good. We saw a Sapphire Medallion, but I largely don't care about that card. They could have Mind's Desire in their deck, where Consigned is really good. But if they time spiral me, it doesn't matter. What would I cut if I was making room for these? Probably some Strixes. No. I'm going in. The Doomsday's here. I'm keeping. Unfortunately, Hedge Maze doesn't cast Doomsday. We'll find a workaround. I promise. Thoughtseize. Luckily, this deck can't actually do anything on turn 2. Uro, just banked a free Entomb. Pay me. Yeah, I can develop my mana here and Thoughtseize them on turn 2. Sapphire Medallion's in. Okay, Ponder and Thoughtseize. I could Ponder first to protect Thoughtseize, or I could Thoughtseize and then have information for my Ponder. I think I'm going to Ponder first. Yeah, Force of Will and Land are exactly what I wanted, and I found them both. Don't shuffle, and then Thoughtseize you. Let's hope this hand sucks. This hand's pretty bad, yeah. Lorien revealed. How close are they to casting that? They're 2 mana away from casting that. I have my own forces. They can't pact or they die. All right, I'm taking Lorien. Okay, a mediocre hand. I can put Food Chain on the stack next turn. I'm going to fetch. Do I need Bayou for anything? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to get another Underground Sea. And I will invest in the Food Chain and see if this is worth their Force of Will. I'm not going to force back if it is. Okay, that's in. And they didn't play a land, just passed the turn. Thoughtseize, okay. Well, I'll cast it. Thoughtseize you again. Did you draw a card worth protecting with Force of Will? Cloud of Fairies, Mind's Desire. Well, for me, it's Mind's Desire. That card does stuff. Most of the other cards don't. Carpet of Flowers is a good hit, and Hierarch's a good hit for green. Okay, that's a pretty big whiff, actually. All right, I'll put Thassa's Oracle and Doomsday on top of the deck and pass. I want to keep a Griffin, even though I'm going to manipulate Fate next turn, because that's a good one for Force of Will. Cycling Cloud of Fairies. Yeah, they're just looking for anything to do here. Riddler can ramp me next turn, or I could manipulate and try to do something else. I'm going to do that. I'm going to manipulate. Veil and Force have me pretty comfortable here versus my opponent's pretty wonky hand. They could hardcast Force here, but I don't even know if that's worth it. Wow, pitchcast Force. Well, I'll Veil of Summer that. Well, they can't pact. That draws the Oracle. It could be worse. Okay, Griffin, and probably Ignoble Hierarch. Just throwing random donkers out of my deck that aren't helpful anymore. Okay, passing the turn. Fetching in the upkeep. Prologue to Pheresis. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Sweet. Okay, so this is probably the Radstorm deck then. I haven't actually seen this deck in real life. It's a card from Fallout that took a while to get to Magic Online, and by then the hype had died down. I think Bryant Cook has played it on his channel a number of times. Okie dokie. How do I want to do this? I could Doomsday Swag win, or I could just Food Chain out here. I want to give the people what they came for. I'm going to go for a Doomsday Swag win. What does that look like here? I guess I fetch Bayou. Do I care about Bayou? They're almost at the point where they can cast Pact of Negation. What happens if I just start casting Griffins? Oh, I can Doomsday Swag win next turn. Yeah, I'm just going to get Bayou and cast a Griffin from exile. This puts 2 Griffins into play. They're intuitioning in response. Do I care? I guess I always care. All right, force pitching Griffin. Okay, Griffin. And I'm just going to put all these things into play. And I'm going to summon Uro. Unfortunately, my opponent might just concede here and not give me the Doomsday win. But the Doomsday win is just fake anyway. My devotion to blue is actually extremely high. All right, I'm going to exile this one for green and play Uro. Blue, green. Exile a bunch of stuff from my graveyard. Uro's in. Thoughtseize. Do I want to warp or just play Quantum Riddler? I think I want to warp it. Yeah, I can make my devotion to blue 11, which is still not lethal. All right, I'm gonna warp Quantum Riddler because playing it doesn't work for my Doomsday win next turn. I suspect I'm gonna pass the turn and my opponent will just concede. But if I'm gonna get a Doomsday win, I need Riddler in exile. I don't know how my opponent's deck wins from just Pact of Negation in hand. Okay, I'm up to 12. This is all the Griffins. I'm not going to value Oracle. I want it for the win. Okay, pass, and... oh, my opponent doesn't concede. I don't have lethal, technically. I'm one short. I'm counting this as a Doomsday win, by the way. If they don't fetch, it's a Doomsday win. If they do fetch, it's a Food Chain win. Okay, I only had 15 damage in play, which means I would have had them at 1 and would have had to kill them with Doomsday. That counts, that counts, that counts. Okay, obviously this deck, there's a lot going on in here. If we focus on, I actually think Bug Food Chain with Beast Whisperer was kind of something. The Doomsday almost came up once, and, you know, depending on how we want to count, how we want to write the history books, we can talk about that final round being a Doomsday win or not. Honestly, I think Bug Food Chain, if we just don't Doomsday and add 2 Quantum Riddlers to the deck, we're already in a pretty cool place. Or Bug Food Chain. What did I say? Doomsday? I meant Food Chain. Whatever I said, I meant Food Chain. Yeah, just Bug Food Chain without the Doomsdays. Warp creatures with Food Chain is just interesting space in general. I know Rug is the go-to build of Food Chain right now, and there is a warp creature that warps for 1, and it's a 3-drop. And it's whenever a creature enters the battlefield, your opponent takes a damage. So they basically, it's a win con that's also a ritual. If you need it to be a ritual instead of a win con, it's pretty awesome. But Quantum Riddler is just a magic card that stands on its own. As far as this challenge goes, I feel like, given the brief of put Doomsday and Food Chain in the same deck, I did a pretty good job trying to make that happen. The Ignoble Hierarch specifically felt a little wonky. They made sense to me because they can filter Tropical Island into black mana and they can jumpstart Food Chain. But I think if we just had like 21 lands in this deck and then the last Hierarch was something else, we would have just kept more hands and been happier. I'm going to leave this one here. We knew it was a long shot. I did not reverse trophy. We did put a win on the board. I'll take that as a dub. Beerguard, thank you for this wild challenge. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.